Alright, so we're going to take on something a little bit different today. Usually, all of my videos are like scripted, so I sort of know what I'm talking about, but today, we're going to do a live recording. I have some notes over there, so I'm not just totally blabbering, but really, it's a live recording. So recently, I was asked to do my basically balance change wish list, but I'm just going to do 5 cards that I think should be changed sometime soon, because it's probably not going to happen in the next balance change. So we'll start off with 2 nerfs, and then we'll go to 3 buffs, because really, I don't think that there's many cards in the game that really need changing right now. I think most of the cards are pretty okay, and there's like 1 or 2 that could be nerfed a little bit, and then there's a ton that need to be buffed. So we'll start off with Barbarian Barrel. It has a usage rate that is over 3 times that of the log right now, and log like isn't a bad card, so it really speaks for how good Barbarian Barrel is. It's been like the best card in the game for a long while now, and it's had this like 50% usage rate for like the longest time, and really, it's not fair on the other small spells. So my proposal is to give it a minus 0.5 tile range. The reason being, you'd have to nerf its damage by like 20% for it to actually matter. That would make it not kill Ice Spirits and not take off Guard Shields. That's like a non-influential change when you look at Ice Spirit and Guard usage rates. So really, I'm just going to take 0.5 tiles off of the range and try to see if that's somewhat influential. I'm not really trying to kill off Barbarian, I'm just trying to tone it down a little bit so people use the log, and then, you know, the log is good again. Because personally, I prefer log and I don't really like living in this Barbarel meta. An alternative to this is obviously, as I mentioned, doing that damage nerf. I think if the 0.5 tiles didn't affect Barbarel too much, then maybe you go to the damage afterwards. So I think the combination of those two would be too much for one balance change, and instead, I'm going to start with the range and then move on to the damage if that isn't enough. The next card on my nerf list would be the Bandit. She's a free elixir unit that really just stops a load of other cards from being strong. She gets way too much value for free elixir in my opinion, and has really caused bridge spam to be like the meta deck forever now. She's just way too versatile when you look at all of the other free cost cards, and I think she could be toned down just a little bit. And by just a little bit, I mean like, you know, 20% damage a little bit. I'm gonna propose that we take her damage down from 160 to 125. This change just means that her dash will no longer kill archers or bombers, but overall just takes her DPS down. I think you don't really want to touch her health because her health isn't the highest. Her damage is the real issue. The DPS that she deals is really high, and I think changing these really small interactions makes her be less good on defense, but at the same time stops people just throwing her at the river and will force you to get value before attacking with her. I think that is the intended design from Supercell, so you know, it makes sense for everyone. Health here would be like my second choice. Her dash range and her attack speed are both standardized, so don't really want to change those as they're nice numbers. It's either out with health and damage, and like health I don't think she really has that much of, so I'm gonna change her damage. So now we move on to the fun stuff, all of the buffs, all of the cards, so they're pretty trash right now, but could be better. My first one is one that I go on about a little bit too much. I want the bomber to be buff. It's literally like never been meta. It's got a 0% usage rate right now and just a 10% win rate, which is like really bad for stats. Previously in a video, I've said this. I propose we bring down the elixir count to 2, so more of a cycle card. With this, we take down the health to an Ice Spirit, which is 33% to 207, meaning it will survive a zap but die to a log. I know this buff's bait, however I'd suggest nerfing bait in general, but that's an entirely new video. Also take down the damage 33% to make it similar to a goblin at 95 DPS. This rework makes him a cheap splash option for decks, which isn't really worth spelling unless you want to waste a log on him and then get punished by a barrel or something. I sort of come to realize that Supercell won't change that bait aspect, and so it's probably not a good idea to make it die to log. My idea now is to make it go down 33% elixir, so down to 2 elixir, keep the same health so it doesn't die to log, but you also change its damage by 33%, so that means it will need to 2-shot things like Guard Shields or Ice Spirits, but overall it's a buff because it keeps the same health, goes down elixir, and goes down a little bit of damage. It also stops it being a bait card because it doesn't die to log at these stats. I know it's sort of like a big change, but Bomber goes down really quickly for a free elixir card. Changing its health would really affect what the card actually is. It's just meant to be quick, high splash damage. However, there have been like loads more free elixir cards that have entered the game and are a ton better than Bomber, so I think Bomber deserves to move down to 2 elixir, and hopefully there he can find a spot in the metagame. The other alternative is obviously just to fix spell bait and then make him die to log, but that's a lot of effort, especially for Supercell. So I'm just saying, let's make him cheaper and hope that he becomes viable. Card number 4 is Cannon Cart. It obviously had its time in the meta before, but with like loads of buffs and nerfs, it's never really found a stable place. It's a really good synergy with Graveyard, and Graveyard is pretty bad right now, so you know, that's fitting. My suggestion is to give it a half tile range buff. Changing the DPS has proven like really temperamental and balancing, so I don't really want to go back into all of that again. The range helps it against a lot of ranged units now, you know, like outranging some. It also allows for a quicker connection onto the tower with your cannon cart. This makes your opponent either have to respond quicker or just take a ton of damage. Also, this will match the closer range with an actual cannon, so it'll be truly a cannon card. Realistically, I think Supercell are just going to keep messing with the DPS of this card, even though I disagree with that concept because it's been done so many times already. It will work out eventually, but I don't really think this card needs to just be a raw DPS machine. Its range will make it better on defense, preserving its HP for later, and then making it better on offense by locking onto the tower that much quicker. Finally, I'd like to buff one of my favorite cards, the Dark Prince. He had a patch in the meta, but got nerfed and then fell out of it like really quickly. The meta is filled with like loads of single targets right now, so you know, Splash needs some love. My buff is to take the hit speed down 0.2 seconds. Dark Prince is a splash attacker, even struggles with swarm units most of the time, which really sucks for it. Making him hit quicker means that he can actually kill swarms as a splash attacker and not die, which is really weird for him. It's also just a general DPS buff, which, you know, helps him with 1v1 interactions, which he does really struggle with. Alternatively, literally do any other stat on him, you know, he sucks in pretty much all aspects right now. I just want to say, like, the free cards that I chose to buff are by, like, no means the worst ones in the game right now. Cards like Barbarians, Rural Recruits, and Bomb Tower are a lot worse, but I don't really want to see them in the meta because that'd be a toxic meta. Also, I left out, like, stuff like Wall Breakers because they're, like, really new and just not gonna get buffed anytime soon. This video suggestion comes from a comment from Jacoby, so, you know, shout out to you for leaving comments and that, you know, you made a difference, I made this video. But yeah, I see this every video, like, leave your suggestions in the comments, I will respond to them all once again because, you know, this is a slave labor relationship. But yeah, also let me know what you thought of this format, I guess. I'm not very good at camera stuff because I don't really do it that often, especially staring right into it and just making up words. That's really difficult. But yeah, just a final thank you for watching, and peace!